The poor and vulnerable continue to shoulder most of the economic burden from the disruption caused by COVID-19 and lack of growth in our economy. As such, government spending on direct cash support for the poor should be protected from cuts. With the savings realized from the DA's targeted spending cuts and savings, the DA commits to protecting inflationary increases in social grants. This would entail social grant increases in excess of 30 billion rand over 3 years. The DA has been a long-standing supporter of the idea of income support for the unemployed. Our view is that a basic income grant will provide an economic floor for the most vulnerable, as well as put money directly into the hands of the people who are best placed to decide where to spend it. The market makes better allocative decisions than the government. However, we are concerned that the country simply cannot afford to support a growing number of dependents in an environment of low growth and a shrinking revenue base. It would seem, therefore, that a basic income grant would become increasingly feasible as an expenditure from the proceeds of growth as opposed to increased taxes. As economic growth is realized, a basic income grant would become affordable. The DA has budgeted an additional 105 billion rand over the next 3 years for the introduction of a conditional basic income grant. The grant would be made available on the understanding that it would only be provided when revenue generated from GDP growth is available. It would not be funded from additional tax. To unlock the growth dividend through small, medium and micro enterprises, the DA proposes the following: the expansion of tax-free savings, especially into SMME companies, by allowing more types of products into tax-free accounts, better targeted tax incentives into venture capital and early-stage companies, tax relief or tax holidays for startups and SMMEs. This also includes employees of the startup so that the necessary skills are more affordable as part of the business setup costs. Full BEE scorecard exemptions for startups, upgrading the contribution level to level 1 from level 4 for exempt SMMEs, assuming that BEE legislation is retained at all, given that the DA does not support this legislation. Raise the threshold for what is classified as a micro-enterprise to 50 million rand turnover, a small enterprise to 500 million turnover, and a medium enterprise 2 billion rand turnover. Comprehensive relief for startups. On pension fund assets, a significant amount of investment capital is owned by pension fund members. To fund its developmental state model, government aims to encourage funds to invest members' money in infrastructure projects in the hope that this will create jobs. Pension fund members should be permitted to leverage their own pension fund assets as collateral for a pension-backed loan and be able to access a portion of their pension fund before retirement. This two-tier system will enable a balance between current and future consumption to the benefit of hardworking South Africans. The DA is fully aware that economic reform cannot occur overnight. After decades of policy incoherence, economic damage caused by failed triple BEE interventions, public financial mismanagement, and high levels of corruption, an economic turnaround will require time and effort. The DA firmly believes that a pathway to prosperity for all South Africans is possible.